I just want to give everybody an update. I did have a conversation with Felecia Gonzalez yesterday via text from wherever in the world she claims to be at today. She told some truth and some lies, and so I just want everybody to know we didn't even bring up the wedding because I already knew that that's what Mr. Carpenter told me. Is what half the town knew, was that her and Mr. Carpenter were the maid of honor and best man at Shannon and Fred Green's wedding way back in like 2001, 2000, something like that. Anyway, at the time she was a minor, and she claims that Mr. Carpenter stalked her while she was a teenager, but they didn't sleep together until after she was of age. And I just know better than that, because she confessed to me in front of the police department on their camera that she was sleeping with him way before she turned of legal age. They have those videotapes if they choose to bring them forward. My other thing here is that there's too many people that saw her and knew that they were hanging out together, along with the fact that her and her parents lived at the trailer park that Ward Bell lived at when my grandmother, Faith Ann Falk Bell, was murdered. She was also in town at the time that my mother was murdered as well, just so we're all on the same page, and lied about it. Felecia Gonzalez, a.k.a. Kachi, a.k.a. Laura Loomer, told me that she hadn't been in Michigan since 2004, when she knows I've seen her personally in Michigan, not just at Edward McGee's house, but also riding around with Tara Carpenter, looking for Mr. Carpenter when he came up missing, because they rode up and down my road, just like Tara and them did, the whole time I lived on Decatur Road. I also want to bring up the fact that Felecia Gonzalez lied about having a physical altercation with Taylor Falk. Even though I was not present at the altercation, I know from the massive amounts of witnesses who came back who were credible and didn't just tell me, my son and many other people also heard about the fist fight that they had. So did the dent on the front of my car that Taylor etched B-I-T-C-H into. Knowing that Taylor knew that David Grice had my drawing, which is titled Bitch. My point here is this. All of these guys knew all of this stuff. They were around. Felecia Gonzalez chose to lie to me. She did say that for a fact, Mr. Carpenter is the father of Destiny. So I told her, I said, look, the only way you're ever going to even get a chance to be around Dorian, as far as Destiny's concerned, is for Felecia Gonzalez to tell the truth. She doesn't want to do that. She wants to lie and manipulate and continue to act like a narcissist and try to accuse me of being obsessed with her, which is not true at all. If I was obsessed with her, I'd be chasing her around. I don't come to say anything about Felecia Gonzalez except for the facts where my case is concerned. Because up until she said that she was going to get pregnant on purpose by Mr. Carpenter, Felecia Gonzalez was a victim. When she turned around and decided to push some stuff, knowing that she was a minor just for the sake of spite, that didn't make her a victim anymore. That made her a perpetrator. The fact that she was also riding around in my car with Mr. Carpenter, as well as doing other things, on top of the Sailor's Pizza spot having video of their hanging out in front of the store and eating at their store, and the local Shell station also having them on video continuously while they were dating, including Mr. Carpenter being in my car as well. Since this was such an issue for Retha, I want to make sure that it's brought up and that we address it as a situation, because apparently they seem to think it's my fault that Mr. Carpenter slept with minors because he used my car. And that doesn't have anything to do with the other than he used my car, and I didn't know he was sleeping with minors until it was all over with and I didn't have the car anymore. So here we go with that situation. Felecia, tell the truth, would you please? Because, it's a whole bunch of you doing that. that has made it so I can't be with my daughter Tiara. And especially because Mr. Carpenter said that he felt that Destiny had been touched. And we know that he went to prison for child abuse and that he hangs out and likes to have sex with underage kids. It's especially concerning knowing that Felecia knew about Mr. Carpenter's prison record, which would actually make her a provoker by bringing her daughter Destiny to Mr. Carpenter's house for him and Tara to take care of. That's called failure to protect. I also happen to know from neighbors, from Tara's neighbors, that they used to let their kids run amok like wild Indians while they were partying and enjoying themselves at home, not caring what the kids did. Just so we're all on the same page. And if Felecia wants to argue about it, she can argue with God, because I know the facts. There's too many witnesses and too much documentation to say otherwise. I also want to bring up the point that Felecia had left Destiny with Mr. Carpenter, and there's a police report. I know because I called the police on behalf of Taylor, Mr. Carpenter's other underage victim, and on my behalf. And they have a police report which will substantiate the fact that Mr. Carpenter was told to never be in the presence of children again, and they made them go get Kachi, aka Felecia Gonzalez, also known as, or who knows, Laura Loomer. Because Laura Loomer is also, her and her little clique are under investigation by the New York Attorney General's office for voter suppression, along with other things. I think it's a good time to bring up that someone was using my medical insurance and they have medical stuff, test results that don't line up with my actual medical history. And I let Felecia know this so there was no confusion. With God's love, I think we've done everything and told and updated everything that needs to be updated that's relevant, so that we're all on the same page here with God's love. God bless America. Have a blessed day. And back the badge.